Hello friends, welcome to Squared Plans. I'm Stephanie and today we're going to be setting up our faith planners for the month of July. I've got this washi tape here ready to go, as well as these sticker books which I'll pull from. So as is my normal custom, I do my complete month of July in my faith planner all at once. I usually pick something to focus on here on the monthly layout. And this month I decided just to make it a gratitude month. I've been doing scripture studies for the last couple months and I just decided I wanted a month just to focus on things that I'm grateful for, do a little gratitude. So that's what we're going to use this month for, and I'll just write down something each day. I've already penciled in what I'm going to write there on the sidebar to kind of guide the monthly message, and then I'm going to be using these kind of bright summery colored florals for the theme of the month. I had a few of them in different books, some of them paper, well most of them paper stickers, but I had a handful of them here in the clear, so I'm going to use the clear ones in particular on the monthly layout since it's a little bit different, and kind of set those up just in those first few boxes of the month that are empty days and fill that up with the decor. So I'm pulling in everything I have here, as well as some of these smaller rosette style stickers. And these are in the layered floral sticker book, which I've had for a little while. I've used it a couple of times. It's got like a color story style of floral stickers in there, so there's a variation of like maybe 4 or 5 different styles, and it has different pages with functional stickers and decor stickers, quotes, and things that all kind of relate to that style. But some of them are pretty versatile where they can mix and match with other styles. So it's a pretty good book if you like florals and like to have options. It's a decent book and gives you some not only decor but also some functionality with it. So I didn't really like my first attempt at the layout of those florals, so I'm going to go ahead and rearrange them. I was just feeling a little heavy there on the left-hand side, so I'm going to kind of rebalance it and move some things around. Trying to mix up the colors here. Like that, framing out the word and the sidebar. It says gratitude, that I'll pen in a minute. And I like adding in these extra leaves and things, just kind of makes it feel a little bit more full. I'm trying to fit them in where I can. Just seeing if there's anything else I want to bring in here. These ones I thought were a good match, but they're just kind of such awkward little border stickers. So I guess we'll leave those on the sheet. I just wasn't feeling them. I've also pulled out my colorful floral sticker book, mainly for the more functional quote type stickers that I plan to use here. Did try that washi, decided that it really wasn't a good fit color-wise with the kind of bright florals here that I have, so I'm going to see if there's any other washis that might work for this spread, because I feel like it needs a little something here in the middle. I was going to put some of those boxes there that I had started to pull from the colorful florals and just change my mind, since I really am going to write just like a quick sentence or blurb of the gratitude, and that box would be kind of constricting and awkward, I think, if I actually put that there and then tried to write a gratitude around it. I mean, it would be a little bit weird. So I decided on this kind of fine dot patterned washi here. It has like sprinkling of different colors intermixed in a black dot. I think it's nice and subtle and clean, but it's still pretty faint. Not a lot of color going on, so I'm just going to see if there's anything else I want to add in here to brighten things up near the middle of the spread. Thinking maybe the circles, but maybe even some of these longer strips as kind of sideways washy color. This is kind of taking a page from my girl EJ Joyful Plans, Elizabeth. She likes to do this, and I don't know if I've actually done that before. I usually use those on my health spread for the food log, but I think they work here. Just gives that a little added bit of color that I think it needed. So I'm going to keep it pretty simple, not too much more than that. And I'm going to go ahead and pen in this gratitude title for the page. Wasn't sure what color I wanted to use, and I decided on this Tombow brush pen that I have in an olive tone, since there's a lot of leaves and things in that olive color. So I'm going to go ahead and just write it in. I'm not focusing too much on the up and down strokes. I just kind of wanted it to look flowy and light. And here I wrote in a bit of gratitude. Just a little simpleness. And I'm going to erase my pencil lines. Also decided to white out that extra space there so that the florals can just flow right into the sidebar. And now I'm adding in the washi tape strips. I'm going to shorten this one a little bit because it was extra long compared to the others. I'll move over this one by hand since it's in this little corner here, and then try and roll off the others. That way I don't have to do it manually. I can get the placement just right. Okay, that looks good, I think. This one got a little caught up, but otherwise that came off pretty smooth. So I think we're done with the monthly, and now we're going to move on to the first spread in the quadrant layout here. I'm going to go ahead and tape down a wax paper again. In case this is your first video with me, I am using a planner from my shop, my Etsy shop, Printables, and this layout is called the Quadrant layout. I use it to letter a verse each day as my faith planning thing. So it does two things. It helps me practice my lettering, and I also get to kind of interpret a verse each day, which is really nice. That being said, I really don't use the very first box, which is this week, on the spreads. When I'm setting up my month, I usually will do all 4 or 5 spreads at a time on the very first spread, just to kind of get a feel for where things are going to go, assuming that each of those top boxes is like the this week box on the preceding spreads, if that makes sense. I will say, I had this idea to do these little stacked quotes from the Colorful Floral sticker book, and totally miscounted how many spreads I had in the month. I thought I had 4. I even double check in a minute. So I used up all of them on the 4, and then once I get near the end of the layout, I realized that there was actually 5. Of course there is. This video is just one of those ones where I just was on the struggle bus a little bit. I really didn't have a solid plan at first. I thought maybe I would do some florals in the corner with these guys kind of overlaid it on it, the quote boxes. So that's what I'm setting up now. Just taking some of the bigger paper stickers at first and setting up how they might be in the corner, and then maybe try layering them here in a minute with those boxes. But really I'm just trying to get little clusters going here with the paper stickers, since I have mainly paper stickers left and a lot of repetition, so we'll see if I can make this work. There's also some of this little weird texture that I thought I might use, but no, I think we're going to skip that. And here I'm going to go ahead and try that layering that I was thinking of for the florals and the quote boxes. Of course, I have to move them all now out of place just to make sure everything would be how I was thinking. I thought maybe I would layer these florals in the bottom corner and then put in the quotes. And I mean, that doesn't look bad, it's just a little bit too much. I really wish I would have realized how many I had at this point, because it would have saved me a lot of trouble. I could have alleviated a few of those boxes from each of the days and then spread it out on that 5th spread. Could have kept the florals like I was thinking. It wouldn't have been as busy with less of those boxes. But that is not how this went, you guys. It's not at all how this went. So, I'm still trying to figure out how I want this to look. Now I'm trying it in the upper corner. And basically those little quote boxes are just affirmation quotes like, I'm strong, I give joy, I have faith, things like that. So happy. It's a bunch of different ones. And they're in a really tiny typewriter font, which I kind of like. Kind of like the subtlety of that. So we'll try and see if we can make this work. As I have it there, I think that would have been a great spread design on its own. Just in the upper corner of each spread, a little floral cluster, and then maybe 5 or so box quotes there kind of layered in a step pattern below it. Again, that's not how this spread goes. This video is an extra long video because I was caught off guard there at the end, and I also made a decision on the fly and it made a lot more work for me. But it's a good idea if you want to put the work in on multiple spreads. One spread I think would have been just fine. It's the multiple spreads thing that takes all the time. So here's where I decided what I was going to do instead was a spine centered design with the florals on the spine. So I kind of like this, and am gonna start figuring out how to make each of the spreads look cute with that center floral design and the this week box with these kind of boxes just layered in here in the step pattern. Trying to make sure that everything is well spaced, so I am going back and forth between the wax paper and the sheet just to kind of make sure everything is lined up. Mixing up the colors. And there we go. Going to start moving over those spine design florals, and I'm just not going to care too much about how they overlap on the holes. We'll just see how this all plays out. I'm going to add in a few more from my stash and just kind of fill in the space. And I'll need to cut them each time before I can move on to the next spread, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just going to use my precision cutter here, which is a great little tool, and just a ruler, a clear ruler I got from Quadrant a long time ago, and my small little cutting mat. Okay, so now that we have a plan, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on this side with the boxes here in the corner for this week. And again, like I said, there are actually 5, and I only have stickers for 4 placed here on the sheet, so things are gonna get a little weird on the 5th one. But for now, this is the plan. I'm just gonna work things in, kind of space them out as best I can. Definitely trying to keep a like stair step look to them so that they're staggered but not too far apart from any one of each other. And then lay in these florals. So this is the only other one where I start off with the wax paper, and then the rest I just go ahead and place them down right onto the sheet without going through the wax paper process. And here I'm just trying to vary the sizes and the colors of each of the florals that I'm picking, using like the bigger ones as kind of an anchor and then moving around those, filling the gaps. So if you're looking for any of the items that I'm using in this video, do check the description below. I should have all of these sticker books listed out, as well as the tools that I often use in my planning and any other things that I can find, the washi, that kind of stuff. Okay, that's looking good. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and move this guy over. We'll see if I can slide it off. I don't think it's gonna go very well since they're pretty far apart. Not a lot of the stickers are touching, but we'll give it a go. Not too bad. See if there's anything else here I want to add in this small little corner. Yes, I've got these little yellow buds to put in there. I'm going to go ahead and cut this guy up so that I can use the back side. Some of the ones that are right there on the edge of the line, they get kind of caught up on the cutting, so just be a little more careful there. And now we're on to the next one. And I'll just go ahead and start laying those in. Just wanted to make sure the colors were nice and mixed up, so none of the colors were right next to each other and that were similar. And here's where I realize I only have enough for 4. Should I try to make it work by moving these guys over into the 5th one? I was like, no, we're not going to do that. I still got a lot to do here, and I've got this already worked out, so let's see what else we can find to fill that last spread. This, you guys, is probably going to annoy me. I really would have liked everything to be exactly the same. It's just part of my personality. I like things to feel continuous, cohesive, so it's gonna bug me. But I had to do something. So I pulled out my modern farmhouse sticker book because I had a feeling there was a typewriter font quote in there that I could use. So we're going to do that, and then maybe try to pull in some of these weird clear stickers that I couldn't find a home for on the monthly and use that as the decor for the very last this week area. So I've pulled it, but I'm just going to leave it there on the sheet right now and try to lay in the rest of these quote boxes that I have for the previous week. Again, just mixing up the colors a little bit more. And that was crooked. And okay, let's figure out how we're going to put this guy together. I think I'm just going to cut this guy in half and use it as a border. And decided to put it on both sides, just kind of nestle it in there. Again, it's going to bug me, but whatever. I also didn't really plan for the amount of flowers that I would need to fill the last spine as well. So that one's going to get a little tricky in the end. I have to make do, but we'll go ahead and lay this guy in now. Kind of trying to fill all the gaps. Like I said, I'm just laying it straight on the paper this time. I think I could have went a little more sparse on these before I got to the last spread, but I really wasn't thinking about it until it was too late. Okay. And because occasionally those stickers were catching on the cutter as I was going through the sticker, especially with the littler sticker edges that were crossed over, I decided to use my scissors here. got smart, flips it over, and used that as a guideline so that I could cut it in half pretty cleanly and not worry too much about the slicing tool like skipping on the stickers. That was really what was happening. It was kind of like catching on them and then kind of pulling them a little bit with it when it was too small of an edge to cut through. The scissors ended up working a little bit smoother in that regard. Not as easy to do, but it had a cleaner look at the end. And here's where I realized, okay, I need to stretch these florals a little bit farther. So I'm going to get a little more sparse here with how many florals I'm laying in and where. I'm just going to go ahead and pull those all out right now so I know how many I have to work with. All the paper stickers in that style. And we really don't have a lot, so I'm going to pull in some that aren't really necessarily part of the styling group from the layered floral sticker book. And see if I can make 2 spreads out of what's left here. Very poor planning on my part this week, but what are you going to do? There we go. Trim up a few that were a little bit off. And here we are on the last one. So let's see if I can make this spread out of so little stickers here. The only good thing about the smaller stickers is that it's a little more low profile, so I have more room to write on those days, not so much encroaching on the writing space. It's going to be pretty hard, I think, to fill this entire spread with what I have there pulled. So I'm back into some of my other books and I'm looking for something that I feel works with it, but is not from that grouping. I'm going to pull in some of these smaller pink florals to see if I can fill out that spread. And then go ahead and finish cutting this up. Okay, I think we've got all of the decor in. Now we just need to do a little cleanup here, punch the holes through, and maybe clean up those edges. I'm going to go ahead and try this with my Happy Planner punch. I do not have very good luck with punching through stickers with my punch, but we're going to give this a go. I'm using just a backer sheet to catch the sticky part that was left over on the other side so it didn't clog up the works there on the hole punch. It worked fine on the first one because it was only one single layer of stickers, but the pages where they had double layers of stickers on both sides, it was too thick. So what I decided to do is pull out some copier paper. I was using my heavier stock before, and so I'm going to try that, but it's still a little too thick. So we're just going to try punching it alone and see if I can get it to work. And lo and behold, it actually worked. I was pleasantly surprised that I got through that, so we're going to keep going with that and see if we can get the rest of these pages punched and ready to go. Did have to do a little cleanup there on that last one. And I think I'm just going to try to clean out these holes so I don't gunk up the rest of these pages, because sometimes it starts to stick, and I just want to make sure it's as clean as possible. Okay. Last two. So we got one more that's double layered. So let's see how this goes. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. And this one, I'm going to use a copier paper just because it doesn't have any on the opposite side. Let's make sure it doesn't stick down to the punch. And okay, you guys, now that we're all cleaned up and ready to go, we are done. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye.